Question for you. If an extraterrestrial life form visited our planet, what is the most likely reason for their visit and the most likely scenario to play out? Hey philosophers, I'm Jonas, and this is Philosophy Friday, a place where we like to ask interesting questions that are hard to answer. Be sure to stick around to hear the question for next week so you can be part of the conversation. Also, we're a brand new channel and we're giving away free memberships and swag. Stay till the end of the video for more details. Enrico Fermi created what is now called the Fermi paradox, which, in a nutshell, says that with so many planets and galaxies out there, surely there's a statistical inevitability that our Earth isn't the only one with intelligent life, and that they have theoretically had enough time to travel the galaxy. So, where are they? Now, there are a lot of hypotheses as to where they might be, including the ominous Great Filter. Let's assume that for the sake of argument, that Fermi was right and that aliens exist, and that meeting them is inevitable, even if we're not sure why it hasn't happened already. So, why would aliens visit us, and what would happen once they got here? If we only looked at movies, we'd probably think that the most likely reason for aliens to visit would be to harvest our organs, take over Earth for its resources, or wantonly kill all humans for sport. But is that really the most plausible? Might they come as a peaceful envoy to usher us into an age of enlightenment? We don't know, and we may never know, but that doesn't keep us from attempting an answer anyway. I'd like to turn the tables a bit and ask, why would we humans visit an alien world? And as it happens, we have examples of what humans might do with an extraterrestrial world based off of our historical intraterrestrial activities. Basically, what are the reasons humans navigated to new continents right here on Earth? Let's look at the historical evidence for why people discovered America. Obviously, the Native Americans discovered America first, but there isn't a lot of historical records as to their reasons. We could, of course, speculate, but since we're already speculating about aliens of Earth, I think it might be best if we look at examples with more data. The first group of people after the Native Americans was not the group led by Columbus, but more likely a group of Vikings who actually lived in modern-day Newfoundland for about 10 years before they were driven out by the natives. They weren't particularly friendly on their first encounter, and the indigenous people didn't like that. The Vikings were pleased to find grapes and timber and called it Vinland, or Wineland. These were resources not widely available in Greenland, where they had come from, and this leads us to our first speculation. Now, I'm not a historian, but it sounds like they were looking for resources. There are other examples from history where people set out to explore or discover resources, or more efficient trade routes. And war was not always on their mind, at first. That came later. That said, war often ensued when new groups tried to take what the existing groups had. So is that what would happen here? One would hope that they were advanced enough that they weren't interested in the resources we need. One thing I can say for certain, if the aliens were advanced enough, we can be sure that they'd like and subscribe. So why not follow their example? Anyway, back to the video. Let's see what reasons our community members think aliens might visit. Josh R. writes, I feel like if aliens ever showed up, it would be either that they want to help humans or just as tourists to observe, in which case we probably would never know they were here. If a group was ever advanced enough to do that, I think that they would be nonviolent, and that they either never were violent like humans or evolved past it a long time ago and realized that peaceful collaboration would move them forward as a species much faster than disjointed competition. I like how you said that if they were nonviolent, that they would have peaceful collaboration that enabled their advanced technology. I like to think that humans have that in us as well. However, I will point out that much of the technology we currently have was developed for or by Earth's militaries. Technology always seems to find a way to be used to conquer. Perhaps we'll evolve past our cruder tendencies as well. I sure hope so anyway. A comment by Gene B reads, this is perhaps my favorite answer. I have 437 light years left on this trip. I need a snack. Oh look, tacos. Jenna R writes, if I had to guess, I think that they would just visit us for the sake of exploration, similar to why we send rovers or people to other planets. The scenario that plays out definitely depends on where they land and who they make contact with. If the aliens were friendly, I think that maybe we would allow them to learn about Earth and orchestrate stuff so that they could get to experience lots of different things. I could definitely see it being a big thing everyone is keeping up with the news headlines like, the aliens got to meet a dog. I so hope I get to read that headline in my lifetime. Pyrobot314 says on Threads, if we were visiting another world, what would be our motivation? Probably curiosity and just to prove that we could. To scientifically learn about other cultures. Sadly, human nature suggests there would probably be some who tried to overrun the existing life to dominate for economic benefit. However, until proven otherwise, I like to keep my rose-colored glasses of idealism and getting along. Dio Baldwin agrees and says, given the distance between our planets, likely they wouldn't have time to visit out of necessity. So curiosity. To give an earthly example, they'd come to introduce themselves to the new neighbor, not to borrow a cup of sugar. And of course, everyone was thinking it, but Jasperdyne said it. They'd want a new source of tasty food. Us. And natural resources. I wonder if D.O. Baldwin is wrong and they would ask for sugar to use in human-based brownie recipes they found on the internet. Thank you all for your great comments. Remember, if you want your thoughts read in the video, just write something on the pinned comment for next week's question that I'll be reading in a moment. This is what I think. I tend to think that the most likely reasons aliens would visit would be to discover more about the universe. I think they'd most likely be scientists. Of course, this doesn't mean that we shouldn't be wary. Now, it is possible that the aliens might be refugees running from something or someone, and while I certainly think that we should help everyone we can, we need to be wary that whatever is following them wouldn't decide that humans are their next target. I sometimes wonder if the reason there are so many scary depictions of extraterrestrials in the media is because that's what we fear humans would do. Perhaps our media tells us more about us than about possible extraterrestrials. That would make a good Philosophy Friday question, actually. In fact, them being aliens means something that hasn't been mentioned yet. Their motives might be completely foreign to us. Maybe they want to come disseminate all the knowledge they have about triangles. Or perhaps they want to save Earth's banana population from the fungal infection that is threatening the fruit's existence because they like watching us monkeys in the zoo, and we need our bananas. As with a lot of the questions we ask on the channel, we may never know. So what do you think? Why would aliens want to visit Earth? Comment what you would do. While you're there, you can post your answer to next week's question. Which would you rather? Be able to understand every language in the world, but not able to speak them, or be able to speak any language, but not be able to understand those speaking those languages? In both cases, you can still speak and understand languages you've already learned. If you like this video, then join our conversation and tell us what you think. It's people like you that make these videos possible, and the best way to keep this community going is by joining the discussion in the comments, and you might be featured on next week's video. Hitting the like button or subscribing would also be appreciated. Again, next week's question is, would you rather be able to speak or understand every language in the world, but not both? I can't wait to hear your answers. Thanks for watching, and keep questioning. I wanted to take a moment and show you some of the awesome swag we have for Philosophy Friday. There are polo shirts like this one, hoodies, mugs, notebooks, and t-shirts like this one. I absolutely love this t-shirt of Socrates on a half pipe. You can see all the awesome swag that Philosophy Friday has available. Just click on the link to the store at philosophyfriday.com. Also, to celebrate the launch of Philosophy Friday, we're giving out free memberships where you can get discounts and free swag. So you can get yourself the same t-shirt for free if you win. To enter, subscribe and fill out the form. There's a link in the description. And comment on videos. You'll be entering into a drawing to win one of 15 different Philosophy Friday memberships worth up to $300. The earlier you enter, the more chances you have to win. Winners will be announced on the channel and via email. See the rules and the form to fill out in the description.